The river always moved slowest at dawn, like it was holding its breath, deep in thought. Mist clung to the dark water, weaving through the reeds as the small town of Willowridge still slept. Lights were off, street lamps hummed their lonely tune, and the only sounds were crickets and the soft scrape of a fishing boat cutting through the fog. Tommy Hartman didn't really want to be out there. He squinted into the pale morning haze, his boots planted firm in his old rowboat. It wasn't about the fish anymore. They hadn't been biting for years. It was about routine, a solid thing to hold on to in a town where time seemed to stand still. Then, he saw it. Floating near the bend by the old stone bridge, something pale broke the surface. At first, he thought it was driftwood. Then, maybe a trash bag. But, as he drifted closer, his stomach dropped. It was a hand, small, still. Tommy's breath caught in his throat. Goosebumps prickled his skin. The river didn't just move, he realized. It remembered. It carried secrets. And this morning, it had decided to reveal one. He cautiously guided the boat closer, his heart pounding against his ribs. The body turned slowly in the current, and the first rays of dawn illuminated a face. Wet hair clung to pale skin. The eyes were half-open, glassy, staring at nothing. It was Jonah Blake. Tommy's hands trembled as he gripped the oar. He knew that face. Everyone in Willowridge knew Jonah Blake, the town's golden boy, honor student, baseball star, the kid whose perfect smile was practically a local landmark. But perfect kids don't end up floating in muddy river water. Stumbling backward, Tommy fumbled for his phone, his fingers cold and clumsy. He dialed 911, his voice a ragged whisper. There's someone in the river, he managed to say. It's Jonah Blake. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end of the line. Stay where you are. Officers are on the way. As distant sirens began to wail, the sun finally broke through the trees, casting golden light on the water. Jonah Blake floated there serenely, as if he hadn't just torn the fabric of their perfect town wide open. This discovery was just the beginning. The river had chosen its moment, and now, all of Willowridge's hidden truths were about to be pulled to the surface. Nothing would ever be the same again. What really happened to Jonah Blake? How could the town's most beloved son meet such a tragic end? The initial investigation points to an accidental drowning, a terrible misfortune. The official story is clean, simple, and comforting. But the details don't add up. Why was Jonah, a strong swimmer, by the river so late at night? And what about the strange bruise found on his wrist? A detail conveniently left out of the public report. Some folks in town are whispering. They talk about a party that happened the night he disappeared, a party with the town's wealthiest kids. There are rumors of a fight, of tensions brewing beneath the surface of their polished lives. Jonah's girlfriend, Sarah, has been unusually quiet, avoiding everyone, and his best friend, Mark, seems to be carrying a heavy weight on his shoulders. Could one of them know more than they're letting on? Sheriff Miller, a man just a few years from retirement, is leading the case. He's known these families his whole life, and he seems keen on closing the case quickly, ruling it an accident. Is he just trying to keep the peace, or is he deliberately overlooking evidence to protect someone powerful? We decided to dig deeper. We spoke to a few students who were at the party. Off the record, they mentioned an argument between Jonah and another student, the son of a prominent town figure. The story is that Jonah had discovered something that could ruin reputations. Was he silenced before he could speak out? The autopsy report was sealed remarkably fast, but a source leaked a page to us. It mentions signs of a struggle. This wasn't just a boy who fell into a river. This was something far more sinister. The river didn't just take Jonah. It was the final resting place after a violent confrontation. Now, let's connect the dots. We have a perfect victim with a potential secret. We have a group of friends who are either too scared or too guilty to talk. And we have a town leadership that seems more interested in preserving its pristine image than finding the truth. The official narrative is a lie, a carefully constructed facade to hide a dark reality. Every person in Jonah's inner circle had a reason to be at the river that night. Sarah, his girlfriend, was secretly seeing someone else. Could it have been a jealous rage? Mark, his best friend, was in debt to some dangerous people, and Jonah had just found out. Was he trying to stop Jonah from exposing him? And then there's the sheriff, whose own son was one of Jonah's biggest rivals on the baseball team. The conflicts of interest are staggering. The town of Willowridge is a pressure cooker, and Jonah's death has just turned up the heat. Everyone is a suspect, and everyone has a secret. This isn't just a story about a tragic accident. It's a story about the darkness that can hide in plain sight, in the most idyllic of places. So, who do you think is responsible? The heartbroken girlfriend with a secret lover? The desperate best friend in over his head? Or the powerful family trying to cover up their son's mistake? The truth is buried somewhere in the web of lies and secrets that make up Willowridge, and we're going to uncover it. What happened to Jonah Blake wasn't an accident. It was a symptom of a sickness that has been festering in this town for years. The illusion of perfection has been shattered. And now the real work begins, finding justice for Jonah. Thank you so much for watching. This is just the beginning of our investigation into what really happened in Willowridge. And don't forget to like this video so you don't miss any updates and share to others. We'll be back soon with more on this developing story. Stay safe and keep asking questions.